So good morning, everyone, and welcome to Namaste, our morning session here on Tuesday. We're going to pick up where we left off yesterday and go even deeper into remembering how simple this can be if we don't look outside ourselves, try to judge, correct, or do anything, but to look within and find the answer and the solution in the same place. And this morning, two things happened. I was reading a couple of things right before session started, and one of them was all about self-improvement. How do we improve ourselves in the self-improvement movement and all the different courses and books that you can, or movies that you can read or watch on self-improvement. And I realized that what these lessons are really about, not self-improvement at all, but self-annihilation, the annihilation of self. Now, I know for some of you, words like annihilation are a little hard to swallow. That may be a good reason to do it, but if you want, you could say self-dissolving, to dissolve the idea of a separate self into that ocean of grace, which is where we are headed when we throw ourselves into that river current and stop trying to control or limit or stop this natural flow. We are pulled naturally into that infinite ocean where we dissolve. We are salt people thrown into the ocean. And this is the highest call for us. So yes, self-dissolving, self-annihilation, not trying to improve or to try and make a stronger, limited self. We've done a good job of that already. What we're here to do is the opposite, to release that need, that addiction of the self. In fact, I came across a very short Thomas Merton quote this morning in Richard Rohr's email. Merton said, "In humility, that's the key. Humility is the greatest freedom. As long as you have to defend the imaginary self that you think is important, you will lose your peace of heart." Trying to defend the imaginary self. But we are not going to defend it anymore. And the way that we're not going to defend it anymore is to no longer look outside ourselves for anything, really, but most importantly, to look to our brother or our sister and to try and correct them into proper behavior, proper whatever, to realize that the only place I have to look with is within myself. And that's why yesterday we started off with the 3 rules of enlightenment. Let me just cover them really quickly again in case you weren't here. Very simple. Rule 1. Whenever I feel the need to correct someone for whatever reason, it is me who needs correction. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is whenever I feel the need to correct someone for whatever reason, it is me who needs the correction. Obviously, this must be a very important lesson for it to take up 2 spots in the top 3. Finally, number 3 is the I am, that I am, the truth within me, never corrects, it only extends. And what does it extend? Love no matter what. No matter what is happening, it is only my role to love, to accept, to bless, not to judge, not to correct, not to think that there's someone out there that needs my advice or my whatever. Now, there are times when we are used and the Holy Spirit will speak through us, but we won't know when that's happening. If we're doing it on our own, then what's going to happen is we are going to be thinking, deciding, we're going to be in charge and sponsoring. But when it simply happens, when we say something to another that we don't even know is going to just touch them in the perfect way, this is how we're used by the Holy Spirit. That's not correction. That's not correction at all. And this is really the key to being an instrument of peace, to be played like an instrument. But really, the thing that came to me yesterday is, and I think this is where I want to go with this lesson. And this is so important. As I'm sharing all of this, or as we're hearing all of this, here's the next part, and maybe even the most important part. And here it is. The only one who needs to learn this is me. The only one who needs this is me, not you. I'm looking at Baraka right now. I'm looking at Teddy. I'm looking at Alice. I'm looking at Shirley. This is not for you. This is for me. Now, you will be saying the same thing, by the way. I'm the one who needs to get this because I am the one who has imagined that the I am is no longer the relevant whole of me. I have chosen this small I am, this self-identified egoic split mind as my reality, and so I've created a whole world that seems to support that. And so when I hear for example, that this is not for me to be talking to Baraka later and say, Baraka, listen, whenever you feel the need to correct someone, it's you who needs the correction. What have I just done? I've corrected him. And so if I remember through humility, like we just heard from Thomas Merton, that's why I read this. That's why humility is so important. The only one who needs to get this is me. Then I will be diligent, but to my own mind. I'm not here to be diligent to your mind because there is no you, just as there is no me. And this is what dissolves when we throw ourselves into that ocean of grace. The difference between you and me. And then there is only thee. There is only the whole, the all. Call it what you want. But my lesson. That came to me very clearly yesterday after our session. I was actually talking to Jeff here at Namaste, and somehow, once again, that just came out. We were just talking about the lesson yesterday, and that just came out. And Jeff said, maybe that's tomorrow's lesson. I said, I think it is. Because this is the next key step. This is not about me trying to control you. Once again, saying, hey, don't you know that whenever you feel the need to correct someone, this is always, 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 always for me, because it is my split mind that I am called for healing, that has called for healing. So if I can just remember that I am the one who is learning this lesson, I'm the only one who needs this lesson, then I give up trying to convert you. And then I see that you are whole right now. You are complete right now, just as I am. And this is the ultimate lesson. This is the experience, that wholeness and that completion right now. So I'm going to let it just stay that simple, because it is that simple. We don't need to overcomplicate it any more than that. And I'm looking to see, I don't see Vicky here. Teddy, is Vicky not here today?
I'm here, Jimmy.
Oh, there
Can
she
you
is.
hear me?
Oh, I didn't see you. Hi, Vicky.
Hi, honey.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, I woke up with this in my mind, and there's a reading, and if it's okay, Jimmy, I'd like to read a couple of sentences. Is that all right? You'll lose me on the screen because I have to go to it to get it. Hold on. But it's worth reading. Applies so perfectly to rules 1 and 2. So, as you prepare to make a choice that will result in different outcomes, this is as we face any situation, there is first one thing that must be overlearned. It must become a habit of response so typical of everything that you do that it becomes your first response to all temptation and to every situation that occurs. Learn this and learn it well. For it is here delay of happiness is shortened by a span of time you cannot realize. And this is it. You never hate your brother for his sins, but only for your own. You never hate your brother for his sins, but only for his own. Whatever form his sins appear to take, It but obscures the fact you believe them to be yours. And there it is. And that's the end of the Course in Miracles. That's why we're not self-directing where we should be or what we should do. That's why the reset for all of us is thy will be done. And to keep our eyes single on that. And then we're moved by grace of the greater plan to where we may be played as instruments to be helpful, to sing or to express. But always it's a way of giving love. It's rule number 3. It's always a way of extending and giving love. And the first 2 rules are how to allow the third rule to be the way of life that awakens us moment to moment on a daily basis. And underneath that is that willingness to not my will, but thy will be done. You are never upset for your brother's mistakes, but always for your own. Thank you, Jimmy.
I love how simple this is getting. Yesterday we talked about, excuse me, about how this is really all about forgiveness. Forgiveness in the only place where it's required, which is what you just said. But we learn that by extending it to everyone in every situation. I have a way of praying the Lord's Prayer that is a little bit different from most people. What I try and do, first of all, is to say that this is already done. Instead of asking for it to be done, it is already true. So I always begin, Beloved or Father in heaven, holy is your name. Your kingdom has come. Your will is being done, no matter what it looks like. It is happening here as it is in heaven. Give us this day all that we need. And here's the key part. And forgive us everything. You forgive us everything, and we forgive everyone. It's not forgive us our trespasses as we forgive other trespasses, or however it goes. You forgive me everything. And through that, I learn to forgive everyone by taking full responsibility for what I see, for what I experience, never projecting it onto you, never thinking I need to correct you. It's always about my own acceptance of forgiveness for everyone in every moment. If I can do that, I'm free. Yes, Vicky, go ahead.
Jimmy, right there, right that moment of forgiveness, that's where the end of projection lies. As soon as we realize it's not my brother, it's myself, there's a tremendous discomfort that comes, a sinking. And that's the passage. That's like a passage of death. And that's where forgiveness by grace comes to us because we've chosen not to project and distract ourselves from where we've hated ourselves. And that's why forgiveness is the healing agent, the balm, but we can't access it until we stop in our mind believing it's about someone else and be willing to sit through that moment of discomfort where it is us and there's nothing we can do to get out of that feeling. It's a terrible feeling when we feel guilty. And it's by grace that we are lifted out of it. And it's divine, it's a divine balm that we call forgiveness. Thanks, Jimmy.
It's funny that we're encouraging everyone to go into this torturous, terrible, horrible feeling of, but it would be like going to a gym. Which trainer do you want? The one who says, "Here, just put 2 pounds on it, just pump 2 pounds so it looks like you're doing something," or who puts 30 pounds and says, "Give me 10 reps. I don't care if it's hard, do it anyway." My daughter used to be a trainer, and she hated training me because I would say, because she's my daughter, I'd say, "I can't do that." I would talk back to her like someone else probably would not. "I can't do that. That's too hard." And she would just look at me and say, "Stop complaining and just do it." Okay, fine. And I would do it. But I got stronger, and that's why you go to a gym, not to just pump and do nothing. But and actually, when you're working out, you're actually tearing your muscles. It's violent. It hurts. For a couple of days after that, your muscles hurts. Like, man, my chest hurts today because I was doing chest work yesterday. But then it grows back stronger. But we have to go through that discomfort that you described, Vicky, and that's the only way. Taking full responsibility. I hope you guys really feel this lesson, these last two lessons, and everything we're going to do this week, because this is the key: full responsibility. Teddy, do you want to share anything?
Not really. I mean, acceptance is the key to salvation, and that's total acceptance. Let all things be exactly as they are and not try to change anything that's given. So the need to change anything is the need to change everything and lack of acceptance. So if you change anything at all as it's given, you're not accepting what's been given. If you're not accepting what's been given, then you're just not accepting at all. You're in the process of rejection and denial. And you can stay in that all you want, and you can fool yourself all you want by making up reasons and trying to talk about other people or to other people or changing things. But if you're in denial, you don't even see you're in denial. And that's why he teaches us how to use the feelings that we have to see where we're at.
Yes. Sorry, I had to let Lily in the door.
Denial is unconsciousness. If you're unconscious, you don't even know what you're talking about or saying. May you sound really good, but unless you're conscious of what you're saying, and you know you're conscious of what you're saying because you actually apply it rather than just talk about it.
Yeah. Like you said, it's time to stop fooling ourselves. That's all these lessons are for. We're saying, I'm not going to fool myself anymore. I'm not going to try and convince myself of something that's not true, because finally now I see that. I see that it's not true. And that's the beauty and the gift of this joining. We come together here every day and we remind each other of what is true. But so now we don't deny it and we don't fool ourselves. We dive into that discomfort. But in doing so, we're set free. So thank you, Teddy. Let's go to Namaste. Why don't you guys go ahead and unmute, and I'm going to put you up here on the screen. Good morning to all of you. Good morning, Joy. There we go. All right, we'll begin with Christina. Would you like to share anything today?
Good morning. Let's all just take a deep breath and allow some space to settle into after all of those beautiful explanations. Jimmy, I heard you say in the beginning of this that all the paths really dissolve the self. And what I have found in this experience is that I can be on the path of dissolution forever. I can be checking the one who speaks, checking the one who forgives, checking the one who loves. And all of that is still within the realm of the personality. Christina. Is Christina loving today? Is Christina recognizing truth today? Is Christina loving her sister or her brother? Is Christina resting in grace? And in all of that, there is still a Christina. And until I choose, at some point we have to choose to really stop the involvement, and that means all involvement with Christina, or whatever the name. That means all thought, all belief, all judgment, all feeling, and I simply allow myself to rest in the truth of my being. All feeling, all love, all forgiveness, all hate, all suffering comes and goes. It's experiential. It arises and it passes. And as all of that is arising and passing, there is something here that I am that does not change, it does not move, it does not arise, and it does not pass. Even this body will come and go. The name Christina will come and go. The thoughts of Christina, the beliefs of Christina, all of it comes and goes. But deeper still, there is something here beyond all of that that does not come and go. It is still. In the beginning, it appears as nothing. And I sense that's why most of us don't go deeper, because there's nothing here. Or maybe I have an experience in this stillness. Oh my God, I had revelation. And even that comes and goes. I experienced my holy instant, and the next instant, I'm back in mind. But what is deeper still? What is beyond that? If I allow myself to rest there, and it will be uncomfortable for a period of time because it does appear as though there's nothing there. But that nothing is the only place where the recognition of all is. It simply is. And in that place, there is no me and my brother. There is no me and the world. There is only one, and it has nothing to do with form. It really is as simple as just stopping. Stopping the thought, stopping the need to do anything, to love, to forgive, to move, to rectify. Because when we rest as that one, it does the work. It heals, it dissolves, it reveals. And the moment we cling to what has been healed, or what has been dissolved, or what has been revealed, we're no longer there. We're in thought. We've gone back to the Christina, the personality. So the stopping is a moment-to-moment devotion for a period of time until there naturally becomes a lessening of the persistence of the thought. For a while, the thought will be not right here as me, it'll be out here a little ways. And then pretty soon it's farther in the distance, it appears. And then pretty soon there actually is no thought for much of the time. It may come back as I'm in conversation. And then I remember, I allow the resting as one so that the words come through from that place. If the words come through from that place and the one who is hearing them is hearing through the mind, there will not be the recognition of truth. There will be the beliefs and the thoughts and the judgments and the opinions and the, oh, I love that. I want to be around that person more. Oh, I don't like that. I'm going to stay away from that person. Whatever it is. So I encourage us, it is so blatantly simple. We stop, we turn our attention away from the thought, and we rest in nothing. But that nothing is where everything is.